Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet, powered by Fandom Wire. If you aren't following Fandom Wire on Facebook, you're missing out on scoops like this. I am Andy Signore, and I'm so happy to be here with this exclusive. I got to write for Fandom Wire about the state of the new Flash film. Ezra Miller, is he coming back? As well as Warner Brothers and DC's feelings on the DCEU and their next plans. We got it all right here in this video. Before I do, I need to plug something very important to me, guys. If you aren't watching Hugging the Cactus, I just dropped a fantastic episode full of salacious stuff about Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, pushing out this wonderful filmmaker Dale Wheatley. It's a story of betrayal, redemption. This movie, Don's Plum, that Leonardo keeps trying to make people think he doesn't want you to see. You can learn all about it if you go on over to Hugging the Cactus, where we tell a bunch of worthy stories of people who deserve redemption, second chances. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to get your alerts. Really help me a lot. But let's get to the story at hand. I wrote this exclusively over at fandomwire.com. You can go there for more scoops and information all day long. We've been posting a lot more regularly. And this was an interesting story. And it makes sense when you really break it down. So first up, Ezra Miller. We all know the state of Ezra Miller. He is not in a good place with DC and the world right now because people think he choked that woman in the clip. Now, I'm still waiting for more information. I'm waiting for someone to press charges. I'm waiting for him to make a statement. I need more information than just that clip because the clip doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good. At the same time, what are we charging him with? Has this person filed something? Has he responded? I just need more information before I cancel or fire someone for a movie. I will admit, though, it didn't look good. At the same time, it also looked weird. There needs to be more said. But that being said, we haven't heard much from his reps, from Warner Brothers, anybody. What I've heard through our sources and here on this report, Ezra Miller may or may not still be in the film. They are moving forward either way, and I think they're just, obviously, with lockdown, everything the way it is, they're sort of just seeing how the chips fall, but they are ready to move forward with a Flash film, with or without him, is what I've heard from sources inside. They haven't made a decision yet on him, but they absolutely are ready to move forward with the Flash. The Flash is an integral part moving forward. I know now who the two villains will be. We also know what this means for the state of the DCEU. Now, fans were already trying to cancel him. This was a pretty funny meme. I got to be honest. I am a Grant Gustin fan, but look, I don't support this. We got to hear more information. But even John Francis Daly, who was up for making the Flash and then left due to creative differences, when all this went down with Ezra Miller's drama, dropped this tweet saying creative differences, seemingly throwing shade at Ezra as if to imply, see, I told you guys, this guy's a pain in the butt to work with, is what a lot of people are reading between the lines. Can't confirm or deny that, but it does seem like he was throwing shade at Ezra Miller. But now, again, potential spoilers ahead on the plot of The Flash. Minor stuff. But the plot will, just like most Flash stories, like the TV show, etc., it revolves around Barry going back to save his mother at a certain point. That's pretty much common Flash lore if you're a fan of the character. However, when he comes back, the timeline will shift. The timeline's being adjusted, and the timeline will not only be adjusted, but they are going to remove Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. All of those events are gone. They are going to keep Wonder Woman, they're keeping Aquaman, and they are going to parlay into Robert Pattinson's The Batman. That is their plan internally. This has officially been confirmed by people on the inside we've gotten the sources from. Same sources who backed up our DC Black Adam scoop up here, which if you haven't watched, you should have watched that video. I'll put it at the end as well. Also a fantastic scoop we got that not only a lot of you clicked on. But guys, this to me shows that they don't like Zack Snyder's work. They just don't care about it. I don't think this helps the Snyder Cut at all. That said, Warner Brothers and HBO Max, they like money, so fans keep demanding it because that may give them money. But this may explain why Zack is so annoyed and just keeps not letting it die, because Warner Brothers might seem to just want to let it die because based off this intel, they are ready to reset the DCU. They want a new Justice League. They mention the Justice League in the script. However, when he comes back, all of those events never happened. So interesting take on that. And I think we've all sort of been expecting sort of that flashpoint moment. And this is sort of that, but it's not this is sort of allowing them to change the timeline, which then changes the past. But it's not the full-on flashpoint in theory, even though it's sort of what the movie's about. But that, they're sort of mixing things in there because the Flash, when he comes back after saving his mother, the Speed Force changes everything. Because my Flash I'm really engrossed in the show and I've read some of the comics, but it's not, there's always that Flashpoint major epic storyline where everything changes, and that's what they're sort of have been basing this storyline on. But what happens is they're going to keep some, they're going to keep not. That's the reality. Wonder Woman, Aquaman obviously are doing well. They're going to keep in there. But Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, they're gone. Out of the timeline. That'll be a separate thing that happened in a different timeline. But now moving forward, it's not part of the canon DCU that they're planning to move forward with. The Batman is in track to then become part of the new eventual Justice League. Again, all of this only matters if it works. Because you got to remember, they had a whole plan before that they scrapped. So all of this could scrap, but the current plan right now is that. What's interesting, though, is the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's new version, as well as Black Adam, Shazam, they're not really part of these timelines. So they're clearly making several little things happen as we go. Oh, we got a subscriber. As I was, thank you on Twitch. We got, clearly they're not fully taking advantage of all of the properties, and there isn't some sort of overlord creatively figuring out how to connect them all, which to me is frustrating. At the same time, I kind of like that they're letting James Gunn do his thing. Rumor is that James Gunn's thrilled with it. Everyone's thrilled with it. Apparently, The Suicide Squad will be a very, very exciting, fun film. And Black Adam, given our scoop, which you can click at the end, with the amount of superheroes that are going to show up in that film as well, clearly that could also be a very great film. It hasn't shot yet, so it's still a lot to happen. But this idea of Pattinson's Batman coming in and erasing Cavill and Affleck, and potentially Miller all in the same thing is interesting. It just shows, though, that they don't care. They don't care about that movie. And I think while the fans care, the Snyder Army cares, Warner Brothers is like, well, guys, we're moving on. We're doing something else. Now, as for the movie itself, we can confirm that the villains of the Flash film will be Reverse Flash and Mirror Master. Now, they've been saying that they were going to do a gender swap on Reverse Flash. That was incorrect. They are going to do a gender swap on Mirror Mask, although Mirror Mask has been a female before in the retellings, but they're going after a Jessica Chastain type for Mirror Master. And so it's still, the script is done the script was written by Christina Hodson, who did Bumblebee and Birds of Prey. So Bumblebee I liked, Birds of Prey I didn't. And it's directed by Andy Muschietti, who did It Chapter 2. And they still apparently, Kiersey Clemens, who was in Dope, Neighbors 2, is still up for the role of Iris West. So all that stuff's still happening. The script is complete, but the plot revolves around both Reverse Flash and Mirror Master being in this film. And yes, Jessica Chastain is up for it. They want a Jessica Chastain type, but that's sort of like they wanted a Zoe Kravitz type for Catwoman, and then they got her because she was interested. So TBD if Jessica Chastain actually does this part, but that's the type of actor they are trying to look for in their casting grids. And so, yeah, Mirror Master, I wasn't as familiar with Mirror Master. I do remember he showed up in an episode. But Mirror Master uses mirrors that produce fantastic effects such as hypnotism, invisibility, holograms, physical transformations, communications, and traveling under other dimensions, other parallel universes, which could play. So there you go. And then I say here at the end talking about it, you can go read the full article over on fandomwire.com to learn more, as well as you can see the Black Adam article that we wrote revealing that the Justice Society of America will play a big role in the new Black Adam film, which I got to be honest, sounds kind of cool. I'm kind of into that one. But you can click that video at the end. I'll remind you. Wrapping this, though, up, the news. Guys, Snyder Cut. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. From everything else I've heard from other sources, and these are sources in there. These aren't just like guys. These are sources in there who've worked in the project. I can't reveal where they're coming from. This isn't just some random Reddit thread. I wouldn't post it if it wasn't from someone I've actually can vet. Oh, you were there, versus Reddit threads. The thing that's interesting about this, though, is this resetting, obviously, of things. But the fact that, they're not interested in keeping Batman v Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman, surprisingly, Affleck's clearly out, Justice League. They're clearly checking those out and saying, let's restart. Those didn't work. And so that, to me, just screams that why would they want to bring back any attention right now to the Snyder Cut? There's just, the timing isn't right. I can see why, I believe it. I got distracted there. I believe the Snyder Cut exists, but from everything I've heard from my sources who people who worked, on the effects and stuff, it was a work print. They didn't get all the effects done. Now that doesn't mean he couldn't still get those done or hasn't been trying to get those done on his own. But from everything we've told, that's not a finished, ready for air print. There would need to be some money invested into it and stuff to happen to it. And so the reality, though, is why would Warner Brothers and DC want to spend energy on that right now when the plan is within the next year or two to reboot it all and to move forward and create a new Justice League? clearly invest in a new Batman that they hope will create several more movies. To me, the more and more I hear about Black Adam, now the Flash plots, they don't care about the Snyder Cut. Now, that's not to throw shade at everyone who does. Like, I really don't care that much, although I do honestly believe Snyder should have the right to release the cut he wants. Why not? It's just another cut. I think you're overthinking it. But, just like the Donner cut, it took a while for that to come out. I'm sure at some point the Snyder cut will come out. But I think right now it's too soon. They want to sort of come up with a new plan, keep it going, reset it, and then get a new thing that they're happy with, and then maybe they'll consider it. That's my 2 cents. Why would you release and remind people about Justice League right now when you're trying to reboot and do something better, according to Warner Brothers? Will it be better? TBD. But it just doesn't make sense why Warner Brothers would. So all of this idea that this is going to be dropping on HBO Max, look, I will admit I'm wrong if it happens, but I don't know. All of this stuff isn't lining up to me to think that this is some secret drop on HBO Max with the Snyder Cut. I think the Snyder Cut is not going to happen for a while. We're not going to see it for a while, and I think DC is clearly more interested right now in focusing on what's next. How do we revisit the Justice League in another way? And honestly, if there was a cut of a Justice League, I'd much rather see it's George Miller's. I want to see that version, and there's a documentary being made right now about the failed George Miller Justice League, which sounds fascinating. 2 failed Justice League versions, but I feel like we got some of Snyder's, and for me, honestly, the stuff that was cut out, I don't know if it would have made it better for me. It would have made it better, but I don't know if it would have been like, yes, now the Justice League's perfect. It still, I think, would have problems, even with Snyder's cut. Is it going to be better? Sure. Is it going to be Snyder's vision? Yes. Does Snyder have every right to make his vision, granted all the sort of terrible stuff that Warner Brothers put them through? Yes, absolutely. But, guys, it's not going to reboot Justice League. We're not going to get part 2 like he planned. We're not going to get it the way he originally intended it and wrote it, which then Warner Brothers made him adjust. So it is what it is, but this sort of Snyder Cut thing constantly coming back and being teased, it's starting to get tiresome. It's not going to stop the army. I'm sure they're going to come at me and, how dare you, Andy? You got to, this is clearly, you got to keep yelling at Warner Brothers because they're not going to do it. And I see Snyder Cut trending all the time. These gang, they get up, man. Good for you guys. You get it up there, trending, 50,000 mentions. And when it happens, they know how to make a attention about it. They have a bullhorn that can clearly get the word out. But I just don't know if it's for anything. I don't think Warner Brothers is going to react even if you get 100,000 retweets. They just don't care. They think bottom line, and their bottom line is, how do we make the Justice League relevant again? How do we make it more exciting? If they just release the Snyder Cut version, that's not helping matters. It's only going to muddy the waters to be like, well, man, now there's this third version. What is this one better? So that's the details we have on Flash. I have a scoop on Batman dropping this week over on Fandom Wire. So go follow Fandom Wire on Facebook, Fandom Wire News on Facebook, or go to fandomwire.com to be able to get that exclusively first. So we got an interesting scoop on the Batman and lots more brewing. So please hit that subscribe button and also check out the Black Adam video, which you guys didn't watch the first time, which you should have because it's a pretty fascinating scoop, as well as Hugging the Cactus if you want to learn about Leonardo and Tobey Maguire and the shady stuff Tobey Maguire allegedly did to this poor guy. Click on over and support Hugging the Cactus. We'd be grateful for your help. That's all I got for today. More stuff coming soon, and we'll be live tomorrow night here as well as on Twitch, twitch.tv/PopcornPlanet. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one. See you soon. Bye-bye.